Okay, so now let's get into these personal statements so that you can write a compelling personal statement for any university that you want to apply to, but specifically these are from my experiences, which were Oxford and Harvard, and I got into both of them. Woo! So let's discuss. So my name is V. If you're new, welcome to the family. My academic background is I went to a local high school, and then I went to a sixth form in Dudley. I went on to do a foundation year at Oxford University in 2016 to 2017, and then I went on to do my undergraduate at Oxford in 2017 to 2020, and then I went on to do my master's degree at Harvard University in international education policy, and now I'm here talking to you guys about my academic journey and how to write a personal statement, and I'm going to read you all of them. Okay, I'm going to read you the key parts of the personal statements, and if you feel like you've heard what I've said before, it's probably because I have. My advice does not change when it comes to personal statements, because I do the same thing year in, year out, and it has worked for me and I swear by it. So if you want to know all about that jazz, keep on watching. Before we begin this video, it's important that I say thank you to our partner and sponsor for today, which is Unlocked Graduates. Now, they're very relevant to our video, our community, and everything that we stand for, because they're all about promoting young people's opportunities and giving them a chance to improve, gain new skills, but also find ways of giving back to society and contributing to the greater good of our futures as a collective. Unlocked Graduates is working to break the cycle of reoffending by taking brilliant young people who've just graduated from incredible universities and having them work for 2 years as frontline prison officers. And while they're working as frontline prison officers, they'll be challenged to come up with new ideas and new schemes and new different things that can help improve the way that prisons work across the country. Unlocked Graduates was launched in 2016 to kind of as a response to the issue of education needing to be at the heart of prison services to help reduce that number of reoffences. The program has been running for 3 years now across London, the Northwest, the Southeast, and the West Midlands of the UK. So I know why you're wondering, why does this help society? Like, why does Unlocked Graduates and having this scheme help society? Reoffending currently costs the UK £18 billion a year. Nearly half of adults, about 48%, are reconvicted within 1 year of release. And for those serving less than 12 months, this increases to literally 65%. And I guess the other question that you'd have is, but what's in it for the actual graduates who are going to be going onto this 2-year scheme? Let me tell you. So they get a 6-week residential training at Summer Institute. So they get a fully funded master's and then a £27,000 average salary a year. And you get 2 years as a prison officer on a graduate leadership scheme. Now, I think that sounds quite interesting and something that I think that if you're interested in that line of work, you should definitely explore, and especially for the reasons that we spoke about how it can benefit society, help different prisoners, and also help you as well to progress and gain new skills. So yes, click the link in my bio to find out the rest and learn more about Unlocked Graduates, and good luck. Okay, so now let's get into these personal statements. The first thing that I always say in all of these videos, if you've watched them before, you've heard me say it over and over and over and over again, with a personal statement, you must show and not just tell. Like, it is so, you're wasting your words if you're just like, I did this, then I did this, then I did this, then I did this, then I did that. It's like, okay, you did things, like, congratulations, but what did you learn from them? Like, how did that help you progress onto doing this? Or you've got to think of your personal statement as a massive sandwich. Like, I always say this and people always giggle, but honestly, you have to think about it as just this massive, beautiful sandwich that's got just the right amount of bread, cheese, lettuce, bacon, tomato, like whatever filling you want in there. Make it a beautiful, perfect sandwich. And the way that you do that is making sure you are layering things, so you don't just ever say something, you've got to back it up with a point. And I think we learned this in high school, in sixth form, in our younger years. PEE, point, evidence, explain, and link. Peel, in fact, not PEE, peel, point, evidence, explanation, and link it back. So you want your personal statement to read like a beautiful story that you're weaving in and out, a narrative that's helping them learn about you. This is all about presenting you, your entire life, into this one paper that's like, what, 1,000 words long. So you've got to try and do that. So if you say something like, oh, I really love history, okay, good for you. Now tell us why, like show us why rather. Now for me, I use this example all the time. I loved history so much when I was growing up that I decided to go and volunteer at my local high school to go and teach history because I just wanted to be around it so much and help the other people that were younger than me. Now, when I was writing about it in my personal statement, I made sure they knew that like this was not a class mandatory activity. This was something that I did from within me because I liked my subject so much. And then when I came to write about it, I said, alongside my A-level studies, I completed a year's work experience at Worsley High School teaching, planning and delivering history lessons to GCSE students. This was exciting as it allowed me to express my love for history in an active, creative and intellectual manner. I particularly enjoyed sharing my knowledge about the importance of key figures like Hippocrates and Galen in the history of medicine. This placement improved my willingness to adapt to new environments while gaining leadership skills. So it was all about like, why did I do it? What was my motivation behind it? What did I gain from it? And like, what was the experience like? So instead of me just putting, I love history, it's now like, oh, there's layers to this. Like she's been reading about it. She's been proactively going to teach and learning and like in an environment surrounding herself in it. So the passion speaks for itself, if you know what I mean. The next thing that I would say is, don't be afraid of your experiences. Like, don't ever think that your experiences are not good enough. And I always say this in almost every video whenever I talk about personal statements or getting into universities. Your experiences are valid. And if you only ever had things that were free and in your local community and like they don't sound that impressive to you, they are impressive. Include it. Something else you want to do in your personal statements is remember that you have a narrative. Like everybody has their narrative and you can tap into different narratives at different points. So sometimes you might want to tap into the narrative about how you grew up, or maybe you want to tap into the narrative of how you discovered you loved chemistry and biology, or a narrative about your future. Like narrative is not a bad thing. It's just you've got to be able to shape what you want someone to know. So if you want them to know you want to study history, for example, which is what I wanted to study, try and like give them an insight into what you have been learning or what you hope to be learning or what skills you've gained or why you want to develop that further. Like there's always got to be, start with the why. Starting with the why is really crucial. And I think that there's a book that talks about that called Start with the Why. And if you can let someone know like the philosophy behind what you're doing or the motivation, it helps them understand you better. So my enthusiasm for history began at an early stage. For me, it was never about merely memorizing names, events, and dates. It was about incidental facts, the factors that shape our society, politics, and economy. Quite simply, I want to understand the world around me and my place in it. The study of history at degree level is crucial for my journey of discovery. So I have centered history as something that is the fiber of my being. Like for me to understand who I am, where I come from, and my place in the world, I need to be at a university studying this degree at this point in time. And that's always the thing. You've got to be able to spin it back to why now, why this degree, why our university. It's got to just weave in and out of your statement. Oh, I love personal statements. Okay, so we'll read another part. So when I was in my A-levels, we got the chance to, write an extended project, and I could choose anything, and I chose to write about the transatlantic slave trade. And once again, this is not an experience I paid for. It's not something that I had to go abroad, to Dubai and pay for, to, shadow a doctor's son or whatever. I don't know. It wasn't something that was extravagant and crazy. This was just me going to my local library and writing about my interest. So I said, I was born and raised in Zimbabwe. That was something that I'm really obsessed with. I want everyone to know I was born and raised in Zimbabwe because I'm so proud. I was born and raised in Zimbabwe. This has sparked my interest in historical topics such as chattel slavery. Conducting my EPQ, Extended Project Qualification, conducting my EPQ on the transatlantic slave trade led me to read Eric Williams's Capitalism and Slavery. I found Williams's work thought-provoking as he offered a different perspective on the reasons Britain abolished the trade in 1833. I also read a view proposed by Lance Selfer in Slavery and the Origins of Racism. sorry, which suggested that racism came as a consequence of slavery rather than the opposite. Alice Walker's Color Purple helped me explore the social after effects of slavery on powerless women. So that's very much this is what I've been studying, and I want you to know that I've read this stuff and studied this stuff, but after each book that I'm listing here, I'm going to tell you what I gained from it and what I took away from it and why I enjoyed it. So I think every single paragraph has really got to just be interlinked, interconnected, and just giving us something that you might not be able to get across just by giving us your grades or giving us the schools you've attended. Talk to them, like let them know I'm human, I'm passionate, I care, and I want to study this at your institution. Then I'm gonna go to the Harvard personal statement now, because I feel like maybe there's more. Okay, let's talk about the endings of personal statements, because that could be helpful. I said, furthering my study of history at a degree level in an environment with like-minded individuals will be a mind-expanding experience, providing me with answers as well as creating new questions. So I'll kind of let you know, like, I want to be there because I don't know everything, but I'm ready to learn, and I want to do it with other young people who are as equally enthusiastic or passionate about the same degree that I am. The Harvard personal statement is my most recent, and obviously I'm a lot older, because even reading back some of the stuff that I've just read to you, I'm like, oh, that could have been better. Oh, that's a little bit cringy, but it helped, and that was my mindset at that time and what I was experiencing in my life experiences or whatever. So now this is my Harvard one, which is the one that I wrote last year, so my most recent state of mind. Now, where did we begin? Where should we go? Which paragraph should we dig into? Okay, so we haven't spoken about the future yet. We've very much been talking just about, what to do when you're discussing what you studied before, or when you want to talk about why you love the subject. Now let's talk about future prospects and you letting them know what doing this degree will help with in the future for you. So I'm going to read my why I want to study international education policy at Harvard part, and I love this paragraph. Okay, so I said, I am confident. You can't be hesitant in your personal statements. You cannot downplay yourself or downplay what you've done, because they won't know. If you don't say it, they'll never know it. So I sure as hell mentioned my time at McDonald's, how working there helped me become so innovative, helped me with my leadership skills, helped me with working in a team. I spoke about my YouTube channel, how we're creating this amazing community of young, bright, and talented people who want to just better their lives, better their skills, and empower themselves. I spoke about, all of the access and outreach work that I do, the awards that I've gained. Spoke about it all. Don't downplay yourself. Put it in there, because trust me, but just remember, don't ever put it in there without explaining why you're putting it in there. Never just list things. Say why. So I put, I am confident that studying international education policy will provide me with the academic knowledge I need for the future when I hope to begin leading educational reform in Zimbabwe and its neighboring nations. My mission is to work in a global community dedicated to ensuring that all children, girls especially, receive a free, safe, and uncompromised education. Are you hearing this? This is a young person, motivated, who wants to learn. Okay, I want to learn how to use technological resources and to combine them with the existing local knowledge of affected communities and create innovative solutions for educational advancement. So I'm like, girl, listen, I'm aware of what's already happening on the ground, and this is how I want to add to the work that's already going on. Do you know what I mean? You never want to sound like you're super naive to the world problems and you just want to be like, this degree is going to help me save the world. No, it's not. No, it's not. No, it's not. It's going to get you on the tracks to being around the people who are already doing the work of trying to save the world, and you can join them and you can add to it, and you can start, helping out and giving little, bits and bobs of this and this and this, but it's not going to be the be all and end all. This degree is just a step forward in your mission that's going to be a long mission for life of working towards this certain thing. You just got to let them know that you've thought about this and that you are seeing into the future as well as into the present. Don't say I don't, girl. I'm giving you all the gems here. The practical nature of this course strongly appeals to me as it combines academic thinking with practical solutions. Now you need to, big them up a little bit, like brush on their ego a little bit. Why do you want to do this at their university? There are so many universities providing the same degree course. Why theirs? So I'm like, listen, I've read your stuff. I know your curriculum. I know it's practical combined with theoretical, and we do this, and I'm going to mention it in the statement. I feel like I'm not even catching a moment to breathe because I'm so excited to get this out to you. So this combination will guide me when researching effective methods to help in international crises, such as the rise in the number of children who are displaced, living in refugee camps, or are out of school. Then again, I'm looping it back into why I care so much about education, why I want to study this, and why now there's a rising number of children out of school, and it's getting worse with things that are coming up. Like, if I was to ever write another personal statement, you think I'm not going to mention the pandemic and the effects of the pandemic on people in the field that I want to be in? That's the kind of thing you've got to do. Like, think about what's going on now, how can I integrate that, and how does it go with the course that I'm going to be learning? I don't want to keep on reading this to you because I don't want you to get bored, but let me just finish it up. Also, the diversity of cultures within the student body and teaching body will complement my journey to becoming, now hear this, to becoming a culturally sensitive agent of change, one that aims to work alongside the developing communities to enhance their strengths and suggest solutions for their limitations without imposing or erasing their traditions. Can we talk about that? I've came in and said, I'm aware that the work that I'm about to go into has its problems, and to avoid those problems, this is what I'm going to do. Like, I just want them to know I've thought about this from all angles, all lenses, and I want to learn with you, your institution, and what you've got to provide. So essentially what I'm saying here is believe in yourself, believe in your experiences, show them, don't tell them. Come across as someone who is super well-rounded in that you've explored different avenues of the field that you want to be in. And like me doing my work experience was me trying to explore history in the realm of education from the perspective of a teacher. Then me doing the YouTube channel is me trying to explore it from the point of view of a mentor. Then me doing the research project from researcher. Like, I'm showing you me with different caps on, but it's all centered around history, education, the thing that I'm telling you I want to apply for because I'm passionate. I'm gonna stop there because I'm gonna lose my breath. I hope that was helpful. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I will catch you in the next video. Please leave comments, anything that you think I should include or that you'd really like to see, and we can get it on and popping, okay? I'm here for a good time and not a long time, so just let me know. I'm gonna go. I love personal statement writing. I hope that this was helpful, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.